in my home office. I just recently installed this cabinetry and I need to put some hardware on, and I thought that this would be a great opportunity to show you some different options for hardware, what they're called, and also sizing and kind of the placement to install them. So we have two different types of hardware. There's poles and then there's knobs. Within poles, there are a few different options. This is a cup. Still falls under the pole category. This is kind of a standard pole that most people are used to seeing. There's also this option. This is the one that I'm actually going to install. I like this one because it has like a little back plate to it. And so these typically go on your drawers. Sometimes people like to put these on doors, and it depends on the type of pole that you pick, because if you did a cup, you definitely wouldn't want to do this on a door, because it would look something like that. But a lot of times if you're doing something like this one, you could have it on your drawer and then you could rotate it and have it go on the door. I do like to have some variation in the hardware so that it's interesting. It's kind of like the jewelry for the cabinetry. So I don't like to go with all the same type of hardware, but depending on the door, I will do poles sometimes for like the trash pull out, or for pantries that are a longer, taller door, I like to do poles versus a knob. So the other option of hardware is knobs. I actually have two knob options that I'm kind of playing with, a rounded one and then a flat. This one has a little bit of a ribbed detail on it. The knobs typically go on the doors. If you're not going to do a pole, you could either put it right where this line comes across and the center of this style here. You could put it in the center of the style and the center of the style. It just kind of depends on your preferences and what you like. Sometimes people use knobs on their drawers. I don't recommend using a single knob on the drawer, but you will see in especially like kitchen cabinets where you've got a bank of drawers, to make it look more like a furniture piece, doing two knobs side by side on that drawer. The thing that's not great about that is I find that people still tend to only grab one knob when they're opening the drawer, and then it can kind of get the alignment of the drawer glides out of whack. So I don't tend to do two knobs on kitchen installs, just because I know it looks pretty, but when it comes to actually using it, it ends up messing with the function of the way the drawer comes out. But two knobs would be something like that. All right, so the last thing when it comes to pole size, when I'm doing poles on drawers, I like to take about a third of what the size of the drawer is. So this drawer right here is an 18-inch wide drawer, and this is a 6-inch pole. So it goes right in the center right here. And you just want to make sure that the size of your hardware isn't too overpowering for the size of the cabinet. So rule of thumb is go with a third of the overall drawer size.